Welcome back to Real Numismatic, where every coin has a story, and even an ordinary-looking cent can reveal something fascinating about American history and coin collecting. Today, we are taking a close look at a 195 to Lincoln wheat cent, a coin that is more than 7 decades old and carries the classic wheat reverse design that generations of collectors have searched for. But the real question is this: what makes a 195 to cent collectible? And could a coin like the one shown here be worth more than its original 1 cent denomination? Let's examine it carefully and separate genuine numismatic facts from exaggerated claims. The coin shown in these photographs is identifiable as a 195 to Lincoln cent, with a small D mint mark beneath the date, indicating production at the Denver Mint. The obverse features Abraham Lincoln facing right, with liberty to the left, in God we trust above, and the date 1952 to the right. This portrait was created by sculptor Victor David Brenner and first appeared on the Lincoln cent in 1909. The United States Mint confirms that Lincoln became the first U.S. president to appear on a circulating American coin in 1909. Commemorating the centennial of his birth, turn the coin over, and the historical character becomes even more obvious. The reverse displays the famous to wheat ears surrounding 1 cent and United States of America, with it pluribus unum above. This wheat reverse was used from 1909 through 1958, making the 195 to one of the later issues of this classic design. The wheat ears are one of the features that make these older Lincoln cents instantly recognizable to collectors today. The 195 to D was not a low mintage issue. Denver produced 746,130,000 examples, so the date and mint mark alone do not make every 195 to D penny rare. PCGS lists the standard coin as a 95% copper alloy, with the remaining 5% consisting of tin and zinc. It weighs approximately 3.11 grams, measures 19 millimeters in diameter, and has a plain edge. These specifications are important because they provide useful reference points when examining an old Lincoln cent for authenticity or unusual characteristics. Now let's look closely at the actual coin in the photographs. The surfaces show substantial circulation wear, especially across Lincoln's portrait and the higher points of the design. The original bright red color has largely changed to a brown or copper brown appearance, which is normal for an old copper coin that has experienced decades of exposure and circulation. There are also visible surface marks and scratches. From photographs alone, however, it would not be responsible to assign an exact numerical grade, determine the coin's precise condition designation, or claim that every mark represents a mint error. A professional grade requires examination under controlled conditions, and authentication becomes especially important when valuable varieties are involved. And that brings us to one of the most interesting parts of the 195 to D story. Collectors know that this date has recognized varieties, including over mintmark examples, and the 195 to DS over mintmark variety identified as FS511. In simple terms, an over mintmark variety occurs when traces of a different mintmark remain visible beneath the final mintmark. PCGS catalogs 195 to DS FS511 examples and recognizes them in brown, red-brown, and red color designations. However, there is an important distinction. The coin shown in these photographs cannot be confidently identified as the 195 to DS variety from the available images. The mint mark area is not clear enough to make that claim responsibly. This is exactly why collectors should be cautious about videos or listings that automatically label any unusual-looking 195 to D cent as a rare error or valuable variety. Condition is another major factor. A circulated brown 195 to D cent can have a very different market value from a sharply struck, high-grade red example. PCGS records show just how dramatically condition can influence prices. For example, a 195 to D regular strike cent graded Miss 63 reportedly realized $1,380 at heritage auctions in 2007, while a much higher grade Miss 67 plus red example realized $3,840 at heritage auctions in 2023. A red-brown Miss 65 example has also recorded a $360 Stack's Bauer sale in 2024. These are auction results for specifically graded coins, not prices that should automatically be applied to an ordinary circulated example like the coin shown here. That is the most important lesson for anyone searching through old wheat pennies. The date is only the beginning. You need to examine the mint mark, surfaces, strike, color designation, possible varieties, and overall condition. And if you believe you have discovered a genuine rare variety, avoid cleaning the coin. Cleaning can permanently damage the original surfaces and may reduce collector appeal. Handle copper coins carefully by their edges and consider professional authentication when the potential value justifies the expense. So, is this particular 195 to D Lincoln wheat cent a rare fortune in disguise? Based strictly on the photographs, there is no visible evidence that allows us to call it a major mint error or the valuable 195 to DS variety. What we can say with confidence is that it is a genuine-looking example of a classic American wheat cent design, produced at Denver in 1952, from a large mintage of more than 746 million pieces. Its ultimate collector value would depend heavily on authentication, grade, color, variety, and market demand, and that is exactly why coins like this remain fascinating. A small 1-cent piece can connect us to the history of American coinage, the work of Victor David Brenner, the Denver Mint, and more than a century of Lincoln cent collecting. If you have a 195 to D wheat penny, take a close look, but don't trust every dramatic value claim you see online. Study the coin, compare it with authenticated examples, and remember that in numismatics, accurate identification is always more important than hype. If you enjoyed this deep look at the 195 to D Lincoln wheat cent, make sure to like this video, share it with another coin collector, and subscribe to Real Numismatic for more fascinating coins, varieties, history, and honest numismatic research. You never know what story might be hiding inside the next coin you find.